Most shows don't fail because they're bad. They fail because they're forgettable. They understand plot. They understand IP. They understand spectacle. What they don't understand is grammar. Steven Spielberg understood grammar. And Stranger Things didn't succeed by copying his movies. It succeeded by remembering how his stories worked. This is a breakdown of that grammar, and why it still holds audiences hostage. Spielberg almost never introduces fear directly. He introduces absence. In Jaws, the threat is implied before it's seen. In E.T., the extraordinary enters through sound and shadow. In War of the Worlds, panic spreads faster than information. Stranger Things follows this rule across its entire run. Will disappears. Barb doesn't come back. Hopper's daughter is already gone before the story begins. The upside down is not the inciting incident. Loss is. Every season of Stranger Things reuses this mechanism. Something personal vanishes first. The supernatural follows second. That ordering is not accidental. Mystery only works when it threatens something human.
I'm still here. I'm still here.
Spielberg's great innovation wasn't scale. It was placement. He didn't send characters to fantastical worlds. He brought fantasy into kitchens, schools, and backyards.
Pretty steady, healthy diet of science fiction and horror movies growing up. They very much influenced Stranger Things.
A lot of our favorite stories in movies and books growing up all revolved around children dealing with a terror of some kind.
Yeah, I mean, like Spielberg has a history of putting children in traumatizing situations. So does Stephen King. They would take very relatable characters like families and kids, and who it felt like our family, it felt like our friends, it felt like us, and then put them into these extraordinary situations.
Stranger Things operates on the same contract. Hawkins is aggressively ordinary. Malls, high schools, arcades, family dinner tables. Even as the mythology expands, mind flayers, Russian labs, Vecna, the setting remains grounded in spaces we intuitively understand. This creates narrative contrast. The more normal the environment, the more invasive the horror feels. It's why a monster in the woods is scary, but a monster under your mall is unsettling. Spielberg knew this. So did the Duffer Brothers.
I think the worst films just refer to other movies.
Yeah.
The best films somehow connect you to something that you've actually experienced.
Yes. Well, Stranger Things has done that very well.
Yeah.
It touches on a lot of the movies that you and I and others have made, but
Right.
it does it brilliantly.
Yeah.
It's an amalgam of genres,
Yep.
but all having to do with one thing, and that is you love those kids.
Yeah.
And you do not want anything bad to happen to them.
Right.
And Stranger Things,
Yeah.
for all of its brilliant imaginings, are about those characters.
Spielberg trusted children because children believe first and rationalize later. That belief is dramatically useful. Stranger Things builds its rising action around this idea across every season. Mike believes in Eleven when no one else does. Max refuses to give up on Billy, even when he's gone too far. The kids don't just move the plot forward, they define the moral argument of the story. Adults in Stranger Things are reactive, children are proactive. This isn't about age, it's about perspective. Belief accelerates narrative momentum. Skepticism slows it down. That's why the show keeps returning to childlike curiosity as its engine, even as the characters grow older.
She's our friend and she's crazy! You come back here and she'll
Here's
kill
where
you.
Stranger Things
You hear
quietly
me?
separates
She'll
itself
kill
from
you.
modern genre storytelling. It refuses to apologize for emotion. When Max reads letters at Billy's grave, the scene isn't undercut with humor. When Eddie dies, the show lets the loss sit. When Hopper dies, the absence is allowed to scar the narrative. Spielberg's films were never ironic about feeling. They trusted the audience to meet sincerity halfway. That's a dangerous move in modern storytelling, but Stranger Things commits to it fully. And once an audience realizes a story is emotionally honest, they stop checking out.
Okay, what the hell?
As Stranger Things grew bigger, the spectacle increased. But notice what didn't change. Every major action set piece is still anchored to character choice. 11 closing the gate, Hopper staying behind, Max choosing to live, and Eddie choosing not to run. The monsters evolve, the effects scale up, but the dramatic question remains consistent. Who are you willing to sacrifice yourself for? That's Spielberg again. Action is never the point. It is the delivery system for the theme.
No. You have.
Hello, Carl. Hello.
Spielberg endings are rarely clean. Someone survives, but not unchanged. Something is saved, but not restored. Stranger Things mirrors this across seasons. The upside down never fully closes. Trauma never fully disappears. Growing up is framed as loss as much as progress. By season 5, the show makes its thesis explicit. You cannot escape pain. You can only choose how you face it.
So, I'm not pissed off anymore.
Stranger Things isn't beloved
But
because
I
it
am-
references the past. It's beloved because it resurrected a storytelling ethic that modern media abandoned too quickly. One where emotion isn't ironic, mystery unfolds patiently, and spectacle answers character, not the other way around. Spielberg taught audiences how wonder feels. Stranger Things proved that feeling still scales, even in a content-saturated world. That's not nostalgia, that's craft. And yeah, this is how you tell an interesting story.